I now give the floor to Honorable Opio from Uganda. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Madam President, for the floor. And I also want to thank the presenters for the submissions that they have made. It is clear that hybrid threats remains underdeveloped in its definitions. However, it's clear that hybrid threats are intended to undermine, destabilize societies, influence public opinion, but also through use of military, political, economic, diplomatic, and informational instruments of power, both state and non-state in itself. And it's also clear that it manifests in misinformation, economic pressure, cyber attacks, among others. In effect, hybrid threats falls below the threshold of conventional warfare, but actually unconventional warfare. A lot has been talked about the technological aspect. However, I want to talk about the political, the economic, and the financial aspect. The EU Parliament on 20th April adopted a joint resolution on the universal decriminalization of homosexuality in light of the recent developments in Uganda. Among their resolutions, it was condemned on the passing of the anti-homosexuality bill, and they called for sanctions on all the members of parliament, the religious leaders, and the politicians who supported the enactment of that bill. Isn't that a hybrid threat? Undermining the sovereignty of a country and also destabilizing the culture of the society itself. An attack on those Ugandan MPs for supporting the bill is an attack on the Uganda people who elected them through the democratic dispensation processes. The resolution also called upon the EU Commission to consider withdrawing the everything but arms preference schemes, which will reinstate tariffs and quotas for Ugandan goods being exported to the EU, limiting market access. And it further asked for preconditions for countries to decriminalize homosexuality in order to qualify for the tariff waivers. Isn't this another form of hybrid threats in form of economic pressure, economic blackmail for cultural orientation? African values are not for sale, whether at wholesale price, factory price, or retail price. Lastly, these resolutions called for financial support to LGBT organizations in countries that criminalize homosexuality, and also an EU fund to offer support to these organizations to fight these laws. Isn't this sponsorship of non-state actors another form of hybrid threats, a form of unconventional warfare itself? We therefore call that sanctions that undermine sovereignty, that manifest as unconstitutional and Western cultural preconditions for trade misinterpreted as human rights are hybrid threats. And we call upon the ACP EU Assembly to regard them as such. Thank you.